look at what we did with it. Real life. Real life.
I think that we just holding on to something. I think that we just holding on to something. I think that we just holding on to something. Just tell me what's on your mind.
Welcome to Underground Crypto. Thank you for everybody being here. Chipper, I haven't seen that name in a hot minute. Thank you for being here. I also saw a couple of names at Crypto Battle. Okay, I haven't seen that. Welcome in, welcome in. Of course, Melissa, thank you for being here. Somebody go tell Bankroll that we are live. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. Camsta in the house. Blues guy, I'm sure, will be here soon. Yep, smash the like button, says Chipper. Thank you very much, Chipper, for dropping by. I hope you stick around for a little bit, but if not, it's nice to see you. And we will be getting started here in just a moment. Got 2 minutes left on our countdown here while I kind of get everything ready. I'm in a trade that I've been stuck in since like yesterday afternoon, and it just goes all the way down to my break even and then just bounces off of it like 5-6 times and then rips in the opposite direction. It's a lot of fun. So we'll be talking about that on the stream. Let's get over to these crypto bubbles. All right, everybody, I will see you in just a moment. All right, here we go. Welcome to the channel. That would be Underground Crypto Deep Dive Research Show. Here I am. Let's get in the camera frame, and we're over on the bubbles. Let me make it so you can see. All right, cool. So Maker up 32.3%, Rain up 13.2%, Stable up 12.9%, Meme Core up 10%. So we're seeing some things pick up a little bit like that. Let's drop down another 100. Pippin up 10%, Axie Infinity up another 18%. Axie Infinity must have been pumping for a while. It's up 63% on the month. Who would have had that on their crypto bingo card? I sure didn't. Xano, Bard, Humanity, Kite, Basic Attention Token, getting a little bit of a pump. Let's see, is River hiding in here somewhere? You know, I'm still trading River. I don't know if it fell out of, oh, here it is, up 4.9%. And I'm short on it, so I'd like it to drop, honestly. And then we usually only go down as far as the 2 to 300. What do we got going on here? Banker down 12%, White Whale down 32.4%, Fogo down 6%, Siren up 14.4%, not familiar with that. And then this GPS token Go Plus Security is up 49.8%. Hopefully that's on the radar, and we'll be going over that today. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. Thank you for being here. We're going to do research, but we always start by kind of getting a feel for what the heck is going on in the market right now. I see it served me an ad. Crypto Blade said, did you hear about the new Discord rule coming at the end of the month? I did not. I call him Crypto Blade. It's Bedell. Crypto Bedell, tell me about this new rule that's coming to Discord. I don't know anything about it. All right, so 70,000 for BTC, Ethereum 2,112, XRP $1.45, BNB $640, Solana 87 bucks, Dogecoin less than 10 cents, call it 9.5 cents there. Cardano 26 cents, Hyperliquid $31.37, Monero $342. You can see most things on the 7-day are down or just barely at break even. Canton Network is 16 cents. Chainlink $8.85. Stellar XLM 16 cents. Zcash $240. Man, that thing has taken a beating. HBAR 9 cents. Sui under $1. It's on sale 97 cents. I wonder what my average is on that. I'm not exactly sure. And let's go see what Flare's doing. It was like number 77. Oh, it's still number 77. Okay, even with some things getting a little bit of a bounce, it's still hanging high in the top 100s. That is good. All right, let's go to highlights and take a look at what is trending. Just want to say, haven't been live. Of course, Sundays I'm not going live anymore, just so I have a day to get my other business, you know, everything taken care of. Saturday, I had my buddy work on my truck, and it just kept getting later and later and later. And eventually I realized I wasn't going to make it home in time to start the stream, and I didn't have the stream all set up. So that was going to make it even more difficult. I couldn't even run home and then just hit go live. I had to actually come home and set everything up, and that just wasn't working. The way they have it on mobile is like impossible to set up your stream, or it's just very inconvenient, I should say. So we ended up not streaming on Saturday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Came out today. Everyone is be under the teen rule until you verify your age through ID or facial scan. Okay, so they want people to verify. There's so much scammy stuff that goes on. I wonder if it'll help with that. I mean, the whole underage thing makes sense because there's a lot of, you know, anybody can get on there and make a Discord and say whatever. So I can see it. You know, there's a going along in like Australia and stuff where they've kind of tried to ban, I think it was in the UK as well, ban teens from, you know, participating in social media and stuff. Like they don't know what VPNs are and stuff. But, you know, they'll find a way around it, and they'll find another way to block it, and they'll play cat and mouse for probably a very long time. Down about $233 in this trade. I have way too much money in this trade, $2,237. And I could have got out of it a couple of times. But if you check the liquidity, we were hanging out really close to liquidity. And for some reason, they couldn't do it. They couldn't go down and grab this liquidity. We were all right here, this downtrend. And then literally my break even is just like this line underneath it, and it was just bouncing off of my break even. I was just waiting for it to dip under, and then that'd be up $50 or something, and then I'd take it, and it never did it. I see that it just grabbed this liquidity, and this is so odd. I see this a lot. A lot of times when we're ranging, they'll set liquidity, see 149.99 thousand, and down here this green line is 149.99 thousand. You'll see the same amount of liquidity on both sides. So I'm hoping that we just ran up to grab this, and then we're going to come down and grab that. I don't know if this is the market maker putting in this liquidity, because why would they just throw liquidity on both sides? It's always 100% even, which doesn't seem organic, right? That doesn't seem natural at all. It says, cool, take a day off. Your mind and body needs it. Yeah, every once in a while for sure. Even if it wasn't a planned day off. Obviously, Sunday was my planned day off, so I could watch the Super Bowl with my wife and stuff like that. But just in general, take care of the business on the regular. And so I am hoping that we're not going to go too far to the upside here, make a lower high, and then come down into this liquidity, because we have good liquidity underneath us. There is a little bit of liquidity up here, but it's not anything crazy. Anyways, that's what I'm doing for a trade right now. It's been ranging like no tomorrow. It's been very boring, very dry. I've been in this trade since yesterday at probably around 3 o'clock. I started shorting it, and then we pumped all the way up. You can see my buys, right? So this is where I was mitigating. This is why I have so much money in the trade. And then we went way up, and eventually it came down. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was up like $250 or something, $260, and I was like, and it was trending down. It was like right about here, if you can see. And I was like, man, I should sell this thing. And I was just kind of watching it continue to go down. Went from like 240 to like 265 real quick, and then I fell asleep. And the next thing you know, I woke up and I was negative. I was around here, and yeah, that really sucked. And then I haven't got out of the trade since. So right now I'm down about $200. I'm really hoping that we just kind of, lower high and come down. They got that little bit of liquidity here. Anyways, everybody always seems to love the trading, so I'm just letting you know what's going on. Let's go to what's trending. But before we get too far into what's trending, I have a little story about crypto I got to tell you guys, right? This is a short story about power that never left. So this whole thing, the whole series is about, well, the beginning of the series anyway, is about, the whole idea of decentralization. It was supposed to, fort the power structure. And this is really talking about how, well, it really just shifted things around. It didn't really get rid of the power and ownership, versus control. So when crypto first emerged, it promised something radical: systems without ownership. No CEO, no shareholders, no central authority, hence the word decentralization, right? In many ways, it did deliver. But power didn't vanish, it stopped wearing a name tag. Instead of executives, there were operators. Instead of boards, there were maintainers. And instead of policies, there were defaults. And instead of ownership, there was influence. Most users don't interact with blockchain directly. They use wallets, interfaces, infrastructure, and tools that quietly shape their experience. These systems decided what's accessible. These systems decided what's visible and what's accessible and what feels normal, quote unquote normal. This is where power lives. Not in the ownership, but in coordination. Not in control, but in influence. Crypto didn't fail its promise. It revealed something much deeper: that power doesn't need permission to exist. It only needs participation. Once you see this, decentralization becomes more nuanced. It's no longer about removing power. It's about understanding where it flows and who holds it at any given moment. And that understanding is what this series is all about. And I will get to our normal talking points here, but we're not going to do those right now. I love breaking it up. I like that I like the story angle so much. I think it's got to help people a lot when it comes to understanding this whole crypto stuff, right? Let me get this off of the 15-minute candles. Yes, we bounced to the trade in between. This is very rounded. I mean, if we're going to cup and handle, hopefully we get a handle. Otherwise, it's just a parabolic curve at that point. Curve, not curb. We're not in the streets. All right. Did your team win? Did your wife win her bet? Did you enjoy watching the Super Bowl? I heard it was lackluster this year. It was really lackluster this year. The Super Bowl was just not a lot of like big explosive plays, not like a lot of things to be excited and cheer about. My team wasn't actually in the Super Bowl. I was rooting for the Seahawks. They won, so that was cool. The Patriots, I thought were going to show up a little bit stronger, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, Plague Dog's in the house, and no, my wife did not win her bets. I don't think so. I'll have to ask her, but I'm pretty sure she didn't. I think she would have told me. Says, sorry I'm late, friends. All checked into my hotel, ready to up my crypto IQ. My friend, thank you for being here. He must be on the road. He must be traveling for work, I would imagine. Boring game for sure. Yeah, I think everybody pretty much felt that way. It was cool to have different teams in the Super Bowl than normal, but it was kind of boring. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, look at that curve. They say rounded bottoms pay the bills. Was really hoping to get, now I'm down 300. Was really hoping to get just a little bit of pull down. Look, you can see where my break even line is, and you can see it dabbled the tiniest bit in a couple of places, but I couldn't get any solid pull down, and this liquidity has pretty much been here. I thought for sure it would take a little dip into this liquidity before it ran up, and that just really wasn't the case. I don't know why. You know, what's up with the stories? I've only briefly seen them about how Japan is pretty much going to ruin the American economy by dumping everything. I just kept seeing one thing after another on Twitter last night about how, you know, it was going to be the worst day for the markets, crypto markets, in the whole year of 2026 was supposed to be today. And then I hung out in my short because I was like, okay, for sure, if it's going to be a terrible day, even if it's not speculation, people are probably going to sell some things, you know? Nope. Sure. River's going strong. It's just pumping and ranging and pumping and ranging. Very annoying. So I might have to take a little bit of a loss on that. So sorry to hear. Hey, no worries. I put 20 on the Pats for $80 gain chance. Lost to 20. Yeah. It's like they always have it figured out what people are going to bet on, right? All right. Let's talk about what's trending, right? Let's try to get a pulse on some crypto. So ZK Pass, we're looking for things that are new that we don't know about, but nevertheless, I'll read what is, you know, actually trending. ZK Pass, zero knowledge. Solana, Bitcoin, Axie Infinity, really coming back strong. Hyperliquid, XRP, BitTensor, Banker Coin, Sui, Pudgy Penguins, River. So River is trending still. That's kind of good for liquidity. Radium, HBAR, Monero, and this Go Plus Security I'm not as familiar about. It's got to be somewhat new because I've never heard of it, and it is pumping. So we will take a look at that. It's up 100% in the last 7 days, 97.4. Let's call that 100. So what's the first thing I want to talk about here? There was something I was going to say about one of these tokens. Banker Coin, we've been over a bunch of times. Dang, there was something I was going to say about one of these tokens, and I don't know what it is. So we'll just go to GPS and check that out. Campson says, yeah, I didn't get it what was happened in Japan. Me either. And did it even happen? I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen tonight. Tokyo market just opened. Is that why River's pumping? I'm telling you, that Tokyo market likes River because they always seem to pump this thing. Very, very annoying. And I've been shorting the heck out of it. Maybe I need to flip the script here. Can't do the same thing too much. We don't have a lot of liquidity up here. It's very sparse. I think it's time to come back down. And I've been up and down. I've been down $500 and, you know, back to break even and stuff like 3 times. And I'm just ready for this thing to go to the downside. All right, where were we? So Go Plus Security, ticker GPS. You would really think it would have something to do with GPS, but maybe it doesn't. 71.7 million in market cap, and there's no data for price. Okay, it just didn't load. That was odd. Okay, so maybe this is not a new coin. January 15th, 2025 came out at about a high 5 cents. Now it's much lower, pumped up as high as almost 20 cents, barely under 20 cents, and then it's just dumped and done nothing since. Why is this thing pumping? I have no idea. We'll switch it to the 24. Let's go to 7-day. And you'll see it really just started pumping today. And I have absolutely no idea why. 24 hours, it's up 51.8%. Max supply, 10 billion token. Circulating supply, 4.3. Outstanding supply, 4.8. If you don't know what an outstanding supply is, then you might need to raise your crypto IQ. We've talked about it several times. If you want me to go over what an outstanding supply is, throw a 111 in the chat. Otherwise, I'll move on. Base blockchain and a BNB smart chain. Okay, those are good networks to be on. We got the website. It's cybersecurity. I probably could have guessed that. Base native, I didn't know that was a tag, but I like that. That's cool. And then YZI Labs, that is Binance. So both Base and Binance seem heavily involved with it. Are we still pumping? This is ridiculous. Go down. So let me take a look at something real quick. Okay, 15 minute about the top out. The 1 hour never really went down, which was kind of annoying. And then it looks like it's turned around and it's going up. So maybe we're just pumping to the moon now, and I'm going to lose a bunch of money. We'll see. Down $365. And whatever it does, it'll probably do it after the stream, because that's how it normally goes. All right, let's go look at the website here. MACD just flipped green on the 15 minute for BTC. BTC dropping a little. Yeah, I saw the BTC was pumping. We'll go over that in a second once we switch to CoinGecko. So decentralized security layer for Web3. I guess a Go Plus security or whatever. I think you guys could have guessed what this thing was about. Providing industry-leading on-chain security service. My guess is this is probably more for big institutions than your normies or your retail. Comprehensive Web3 security solutions. Building in all scenario Web3 security network from on-chain protocols to user action. Browser security extensions. This is going to be about crypto security. Haven't seen anybody with a really good product yet, to be honest with you. I haven't seen any really great products going on. Not like, you know, how we have antivirus and that kind of stuff. And that was really all on CoinGecko that I could find for trending that's worth looking at. But, you know, we find a lot more over on Crypto Rank. Fear and Greed Index is at 9. I haven't looked at it in the last 2 days here. Looks like we pulled back the tiniest bit. All right. And let's pull this up, make it big. It went back to red. LOL was fake green. Now it's dropping. Always wait for the second. And you know, it just made me think of, I mean, it's False Move Monday, and we did that today. We pumped way up, and then we came back. And usually on a False Move Monday, whatever direction it goes immediately is kind of the opposite that it's gonna go. And usually it trends that way for the rest of the day, but it didn't quite do it. It just came back down to where it started and started ranging again. Then you said Tokyo opened. So maybe this is Tokyo's, you know, false pump, which would make sense to be smaller than New York's false pump. That's just something that popped in my head. Let's take a look at this Fear and Greed Index. Yesterday it was at 14, and today it's dropped down to 9. Doesn't seem to have shook anybody's confidence in River, that's for sure. I was really hoping for a nice big dump today on River just because of all of the FUD and everybody being so bearish. Didn't happen. Did not happen. All right, so I'm going to port you guys over to TradingView so that we can take a look at BTC before we look at what's trending on Crypto Rank. All right, there we go. And as you can see, I already kind of saw this like shoulder, head, and shoulder pattern. Went ahead, grabbed the measured move. That would take you down to 68,711, roughly. But let's pull our Fibonacci here. From wick to wick, that puts you down at, you know, 0.786, one of my favorite places to buy, even a little under that, really. All right, so we got that, and then this is pretty much BTC, 15 minutes going up, looking like it want to top out. Let's look at the hour. Hour's already been high. It's kind of coming down. I mean, you could say you kind of have, I don't know if this quite counts, but, you know, you have a shoulder, head, and shoulder, but you have this little weird area in here. I don't know if that negates it. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Otherwise, I guess you try to flag this thing out. Right? And then your measured move be something like this. And I just did it quick. I probably could have made it a little more perfect. I don't know. Something like that. Almost looks like you were going to get the Atom and then maybe an Eve, but didn't really get the Eve to play out there. And then, I mean, that might get you back above the 1 hour for Bitcoin. I noticed that a lot of times River kind of pumps opposite of BTC. So hopefully that means that we'll get kind of opposite action here. I think there's a good chance this 5 minute comes down to at least a 21, if not the 200. And then maybe that first little leg here, this thing is not really anything to look at, and then you're really getting a much cleaner head and shoulder pattern. But we'll see. It's been really weird with patterns lately. BTC still kind of following the normal, patterns play out 68% of the time. Most of them, that's an average. But on River, I swear patterns don't do anything on River, and they almost always do the opposite of what you think they're going to do. This is the 1 hour. Looks like it's going to come down. If there's anything you want me to look at, let me know. Green Fingers in the house. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. If there's anything anybody kind of wants me to go over, just throw it in the chat. I see inverted head and shoulders everywhere, but this one's kind of sloppy. I don't really love that one. This is the 15 minute for River. Looks like it wants to top out again at that smooth moving average. I don't know why that is a tongue twister. And we'll drop down into like the 5 minute. I'm mostly doing this because I'm in a trade. Yep, everything kind of toppy. Overbought here. 7 minute, 15 minutes, not quite there yet. The 1 hour seemed like it turned a little bit, yeah, but I mean, it could easily just turn right back. Trying to get a little bit of follow through on the short. I've stuck with it because I thought there was gonna, I thought there was a good potential. I never think that anything's 100%, but everybody talking about whatever Japan was gonna do to us and China getting off the system was like both supposed to happen today. The China thing I know even less about, but yeah. So we'll see what the heck happens. Maybe it'll all happen tomorrow. But I was hoping there was some bearishness in the air. It seemed like it. And River didn't care. River didn't care at all about the bearishness. All right, now let's get you guys back over to the web browser. And let's take a look at what's trending over on Crypto Rank. Of course, I'm going to check in with this trade real quick. Now we're down $387. I have a lot of money in this trade, so not really surprising. Not the best entry either. I really should have got out and repositioned. But again, we were down here right at my break even, which always makes you feel a little more comfortable. And at the time, we had a good chunk of liquidity. I thought it would at least dip in it real quick before it did anything else. We took this liquidity out up here, and then I guess it's going for more. I mean, there is some liquidity. It's just so strange to me. Usually this thing follows liquidity pretty much on point, and it just only wants the upper liquidity. Like, it doesn't want any of this downward liquidity. It's pretty stacked. It's been there a while, and it's got some decent points down here, more than anything that's above you for the most part, especially if you kind of add them up as they're stacked, and nothing, just getting nothing over and over. It's kind of annoying. Who knows, maybe I'll have to take a loss. I haven't had to take a loss in probably a week, so try to keep it as small as possible. Thing is just pumping. Let's get a lower low here. A lower low would be nice. All right, that was the Fear and Greed Index, and we took a look at BTC. Let's go take a look at what is trending over on Crypto Rank. I feel like we're running through this stream fast. Greenfinger says he's tired. I've asked you before, Greenfingers, but where are you from? Where are you actually? Where are you located? So, why does this look so different? Did I click the wrong thing? What's trending? Or did they change it on me? Oh, this is trending. Usually we have like a double list, and we have, we have best searched in 20 days, and then the top visited in 20 days, or 7 days to 20. And this is totally different. They completely changed this on me. Okay. How many do they give us? They only give you 10 at a time? Oh yeah, I can change that. Let's do at least 20, right? All right, let's take a look here. What do we not know about? We got Bitcoin. Anybody know about Bitcoin? Everybody heard of Bitcoin? Just messing. ZK Pass, Zama. Zama, I kind of want to look at mostly on the chart and stuff. What do we got volume on here? Yeah, 231 million for Zama in the last 24 hours. Hasn't done much today. Only 0.2 negative in the last 24 hours. Then we have this Elon coin. We talked about all of these a lot. Rainbow is just a new wallet. Think like, MetaMask or Soulflare or any other wallet you can think of. It's kind of similar in function. Sentiment, Moonbirds, Hey Elsa, Warden Protocol, Inso, Barachain, Tria. Space Coin, I'm so tired of Space Coin, it could go away at any point. Lena, Monad, Infinex, ZK Sync, Cyrene. I feel like there's been like 3 different coins called Cyrene. Okay, so Green Fingers is in London. It's 2 a.m. Got you, brother. Well, that makes sense why you're tired. We have Zill, which I feel like is not a new coin, but we did go over it in Plasma. So let's go back to the top here and see what we kind of want to look at. Let's look at Zama. Think fully homomorphic encryption. I know that's the first thing that comes to your brain when you think Zama. So Zama is a cryptography company dedicated to developing open-sourced homomorphic encryption tools for developers. So it's mostly for developers. I've been keeping an eye on this for a while. We've been going over it for probably almost a month before it ever had a token generation event. But it did raise a lot of money. The market cap's not phenomenal, but it had raised like 200 million. Market cap's only 61.39, only been as high as 88.5 million. L's are healthy. Yep, they happen sometimes. Keeps you grounded. Exactly. And I was just getting back from an L. I wouldn't say I panic sold, but I held it for forever, and it got to like the point where it was like negative 1,000. I had way too much money in the trade, very similar to what I'm doing right now, and I just couldn't hold it anymore. And so I ended up selling it for $1,000 loss. Now I've made 800 of that 1,000 back, and I was already up. Like even with the $1,000 loss, I was up like 1,600 bucks. So I wasn't negative. I wasn't too down. And I grinded and I got it back, and I was down 800, or I got back 800 bucks. So I was only down 2. And it was getting really close. And then I got myself into this nonsense. And now we're only down 292, so it just dropped under 300. I'd love to see this thing come back, losing the 21, got a nice gap down to the 200. It's Monday. Is this Tokyo's, fake out, breakout, and then drop to the downside? I sure hope so. That would be very convenient for me. But there's always a winner, and there's always a loser on every side of the coin. Now let's look at Zama. I don't particularly love looking at it on here, but I kind of want to see what the heck is going on. Matter of fact, let's go to let's go to like the daily. Oh wow, there's not a lot going on the daily, huh? So maybe we want more like a 4-hour, which I think I already had up. Very odd. You had an inverted head and shoulder that did not play out at all. You guys see it? How quick do you recognize patterns? Do you care about patterns? Put that in the chat. Blues guy. Oh, look, I finally can see the little shields that Melissa was telling me about. There was little shields next to people's names. You know what? I think what happened is remember you used to have like a wrench next to your name if you were a moderator? I think that they switched them for shields. Anyways, you had an inverted head and shoulder here, and it didn't play out at all. It was boring. And it's still kind of down to the downside. I mean, nothing is super bullish in crypto right now, so I guess it's not crazy to think that this would also not be that bullish. All right, I'm going to move on. That's really what I wanted to look at here. Jimmy Villain in the house. There's a nice reoccurring name. Do you typically come on about 8:30 p.m. weekends? Yes, 8:30 New York time. You must be on a similar time, or you must be on the same time. What do you think about XPL and Monad for future gains? Well, first and foremost, what I would kind of preference anything that I'm saying is, the cycles that we used to kind of rely on seem really messed up, so it's hard to judge where we are. And second, if BTC doesn't do well, BTC, Ethereum aren't doing well, like we're not pumping, we're not in a bear market, then everything else is probably going to be very lackluster. I'd just, pre-preference anything I'm going to say about any of those coins ahead of that. And actually, I was going to go over XPL and maybe not Monad, but I will now. I was going to do that already, so good question. Right now, I wouldn't be getting crazy bullish over crypto. I mean, I'm faithful long-term in crypto as far as it being a powerhouse of innovation and changing the world through the technology of blockchain. I just don't see how it doesn't do that. And there's too many big players absolutely What is that? Oh, okay. I had an alert go off. Man, that thing bounced right back off the 21. Where is it going? I don't want to derail us here. Let me just do 1 minute of due diligence, and then we will get right back to the topic at hand. Yeah. Oh, they keep adding random liquidity that wasn't there before. Well, I don't know what the heck they're trying to do to me here, but they are trying to get me liquidated. My liquidation is like $16. So, a little less than $3 away. I'm going to cut it long before that. Got to preserve capital. Melissa, throw in those custom emojis. She must have got served an ad. Anyways, let me get back to what I was saying. So basically, I would take everything with a grain of salt as far as anything doing phenomenal right now. Now, the one, that's I guess more like the bearish thing for me to say. The more bullish thing for me to say is that I think that we've been in a downtrend for BTC for about a year, and usually the bear market is about a year, but again, we're kind of going off of the previous cycles, and this whole bear market's about, you know, from the top to the bottom is about a year long, and then of course we kind of range and go up very slightly for about another year before we get another explosive growth. So maybe we just didn't get the blow off top, and we still pretty much have our 4-year cycle intact roughly. Move it over a month or two because of the, you know, pump that we got for ETFs with BTC in the beginning that kind of started the whole bull run idea and thing early. And so, yeah, now we'll actually get to the coins. I just wanted to say all that because if we are kind of bottoming out, these could be great prices to buy things, or, you know, we could have, if the cycles are completely wiped off the map, start over, nobody knows what's going on anymore, maybe we dump for another year. Maybe it's another 2 months. I have no idea. And it's not just a time frame that we continue to dump for. It's also how much do we dump. Like, we could dump just trend down very slightly for another couple of months, and I wouldn't think that was crazy. Or BTC could dump like a lot a few times, and that would seem much, much bigger, right? Anyways, let's talk about Plasma. This is XPL. I remember when it came out. That's kind of one of the great effects of the compounding day after day doing this show. Is that I remember when things came out a lot now, just like a lot of the influencers that I used to follow back in the day, they would talk about, oh, I remember when that coin came out, and I'd be like, man, that was years ago. They must have been here forever. Well, now I get to say that. So XPL, let's just talk real quick. 153.2 million in market cap, been as high as 3 billion. Now, I talk a lot about that's not really a great look, in my opinion, to have been so high. And unfortunately, it's a lot of things in crypto. Let's go see where this thing came out, the 22nd of September, 2025. So it's not that old of a coin to have lost pretty much all of its market cap. But of course, this is pretty much what every coin looks like in crypto right now. To be honest, it was kind of hot when it came out. It has its own, you know, it's the layer 1. Yeah, it says it right here. EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain. And I saw quite a few people launching, you know, projects, some serious, mostly meme coins over there. So I knew it was a layer 1 and things. Layer 1s traditionally have been the best return on value overall, but I don't think those days, I think those days are over. I think now we have saturation. Like, I think we have too many layer 1s now, and they need to be highly specialized in a very specific thing for them to really matter, right? So blockchain built for stable coins with 0 fees, transfers, and Bitcoin backed security. All right, so this is what they tell us. They have Bitcoin backed security, 0 fee transfer. I mean, XRP has pretty much 0 fee transfer if you use the XRP ledger. Just checking on that trade. But at the same time, generally with networks, 0 fees is not good. That's not usually a good thing unless you're very specifically purpose built for one thing like XRP is. All right, let's go look at their website, see what they kind of are talking about here. It's been a while. Another thing about Plasma is it does seem to be a little bit more catered towards the bigger money, which if you were starting a startup or company, whatever, blockchain and crypto, you probably would want to position yourself where the big money is, right? Because that's probably why you're here. Redefining how money moves. Stablecoin infrastructure for a new global financial system. So another thing to think about, we always talk about categories, and I haven't gone over this in quite some time, but you kind of got to put things in categories because categories seem to move together. Think about when we have all those decentralized exchanges and they move together. And then we had the privacy coins and they moved together regardless of if they were newer coins or older coins. Matter of fact, the older coins have better brand recognition and more people who knew them maybe felt comfortable with buying it. And therefore they did a lot better than other coins that were newer, like Horizon, ticker Zen, that was available for purchase on Coinbase, and during that time it did very little. So I get the whole stablecoin infrastructure thing as a category, and I think it will do really well because it produces money. There's fees involved. It's like an exchange, right? They make their money off the fees. There's money to be made, and with any good project they must solve a real problem, right? And then we have to have a clear understanding of like where the money comes from, because when people make all this hoorah, they can put whatever they want on their roadmap and on their website, but if I can't figure out how the heck it makes money, then it's probably going to fade into irrelevance at some point. Another thing is we talked a lot in our series last week about how, when something comes out, they have some money for marketing and things like that, whatever, and they incentivize people to show up and use their product, whatever the product is. And anytime you're maybe coming along with other people to get the freebie that they're offering, nothing wrong with that. You have to think, is this product cool enough or good enough or useful enough that I would pay money to use it if instead of incentivizing me, they charged me for it? To me, that is overlooked so much, but it is so crucial, right? You have to think like that because eventually the incentives are going to go away. I mean, think about it. Say you have $1 million, right? And you sit out on the street corner and you hand out 20s all day long. So people love you. People come to you. They know your name. They stop by every day. Like, they talk about you. They write tweets about you. Like, well, at some point you're going to run out of 20s because more people know about it, more people come. Now you got a line down the street that never ends for that 20, and people are getting they're getting up there, getting their 20 and getting back at the end of the line because the line's so big you can't even remember who's got the 20 today and who didn't, and eventually you run out of money. And then now stand on that corner and see how many people come to say hi. Just come to see how you're doing when you don't have the 20 to put in their hand. And it's the same thing with these projects. Like, they gave incentive, you show up, they did an airdrop, there was something. At some point that's going to end, and when it ends, who's going to love you? Who's going to love you now? What have you done for me lately is how most of the world operates. And I'm saying all this because you really want to think about projects like that, and we want to take that kind of thought to Plasma, right? So there's stablecoin infrastructure. I can totally understand where the money's going to come from, but it's going to be infrastructure. It's not going to be like this flashy meme coin, and retail is going to run out and be like, oh, I want to buy Plasma because just Plasma is so cool, like they did with Shiba Inu or Dogecoin in its beginnings and other meme coins, Pepe. Like, the normies, the everyday retail ran out and bought it, not even knowing what it was most of the time, just because it was so hype and they thought it was cool. They thought they were a part of something, the whole community idea. So what I'm saying here is, I think it has the power. Let me get to the point, right? I think it has the power to stay and be relevant. It's cool that it's a layer one. It's cool that it's going to be dealing with stable coins. But is it going to be something everybody's talking about? I don't know. Now, retail is not where all the money is. Retail is not what pumps a coin significantly. It's TradFi. It's your hedge funds and your institutions with the big money, because when they buy $1 billion or hundreds of millions at a time, not $50 every week when they get their paycheck. It makes a huge difference. So my point is, I think it could do well. I think it could be relevant as long as it has a good product. That's another question. Stablecoin infrastructure, there's a lot of stablecoin infrastructures, a lot of stable coins. How do you define which ones are the best? Like, which ones are the most significant? Matter of fact, this thing said it had 0 fees. Well, stablecoin issuers make their money from fees usually. So how are they going to make their money? I understand the concept of making money with stablecoins, but at the same time, I don't necessarily, with 0 fees, I don't know how they're making their money, right? It says right here, with 0 fees, transfers, and Bitcoin security. So a long story short, where's the incentive? Would you pay to use it? Where's the money coming from? And then also with 0 fees on this particular one, are they going to make any money? Now, the last thing I would say about this is the Clarity Act. I think that's what it's called, right? the Clarity Act for stablecoins. Notice the first, take this, like nothing's really accidental, right? They had all of crypto to regulate. And what did they focus on? What did they really care about? Stablecoins. Why did they pick stablecoins? I think it confused a lot of your low IQ crypto people. They were just like, well, we want to know about, securities and stuff like that. And they're like, no. You guys don't get it. We want to focus on stablecoins. And so who gets to issue them, who doesn't get to issue them, stuff like that is going to be a big deal. So what I'm saying here is how is Plasma XPL going to be, click all the wrong tabs. How is it going to be affected by that new framework? Where do they operate out of? Those are all good questions. I'm just kind of laying out the whole argument here. I know it was long-winded. I agree with the saturation, but there is always going to be that one that moons. Exactly, Jimmy Villain. And also, it's to me, the ones that are going to moon are the ones that are niched out. Like, look at Say. Although I haven't heard much about Say lately, they seem to be integrating all the time, and they want to be the back end for a lot of exchanges, decentralized exchanges and stuff like that. They want to be the blockchain of trading crypto. That's very niche. That seems very relevant. And then we had this big pump in attention into decentralized exchanges. I think that pairs up so well, but you don't hear a lot of news about them. Like, you don't hear people talking about Say constantly. That is only really going to happen when we're in a more bullish time. Now, the other one he asked about is Monad. Monad is layer 1 on Ethereum? Yep. Monad is a layer 1 blockchain that is compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. Now, Melissa, who's in here, we call her the queen of Monad because she's very bullish on Monad and owns some. She's probably, if there's like real specific questions you want to ask about Monad, she's probably the one to ask. Now, I like that it's a layer 1, that it's compatible with Ethereum virtual machine. I mean, that's kind of a given. Most of them are, right? And so I think they're kind of set out to fix some of the problems with Ethereum. Was once 196.1 million in market cap. Now it's was once 526 million in market cap. And now the market cap's like 196 million. So there you go. And this thing keeps pumping. It is really, really annoying. Down like $465. Are we going to double top? Will we still get the lower low? Let's check out this liquidity. I got to kind of baby the trade a little bit. I was really, really thinking we were going to get some move down, and it just did nothing. Very disappointing. In fact, let's back that up so we get that last peak there. And again, they have higher liquidity up here at 14. They just keep building liquidity. That's the one thing about the heat map that's a little annoying, is like they can just add liquidity wherever, and then all of a sudden they got what they need to go where they want to go. 13.5 is a hot spot. 13.4 is another hot spot. I wish this thing would live feed data and I didn't have to keep refreshing it. Constantly refreshing it is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. We'll see if we double top. Is this Tokyo's false move here? I don't know. Anyways, my thoughts on Monad is Monad looks good. It's got its own ecosystem. Clanker, a project that I like, or TokenBot, I know is a launch pad on Monad, or it supports Monad. And I think Monad could do well over time as well. But again, it's another layer 1. And how niched out is it? What exactly is it doing? Let's look at categories, see if they give us anything. Not really. Layer 1, launch pads, they have. Yep. You can get it on Mexi and Coinbase. All right, so I'm going to move away from that. I feel like I spent a lot of time on that. That is an awesome point as far as incentive. Glad that you like that, man. Yep, I'm trying to give you as much as I can here and not just be like, oh, I think it's great. It's cool. It's going to go to the moon. I know I would love to be one that moons in crypto like the lottery. Yeah, exactly. It feels like that for sure. All right, so from here, Cyrene was another one that was kind of new on the radar. Gotta be a meme coin, right? Nope, AI. Cyrene is an AI agent running on BNB blockchain in Greek mythology style. I feel like this thing is not new. Yeah, this thing is not new, just as I had suspected. Let's switch it to the weekly here. I mean, it's got quite a few candles, even on the weekly. That should tell you something. The 17th of March, 2025. One time back here. 2nd of February that week, it really boomed all the way up to like 38 cents. And it came down in that same week. It didn't last long. It didn't hold that value. And now it looks like maybe it's starting to get some green candles here. Nothing too exciting, nothing too crazy. I had to zoom into this so you can watch it. Let's see, that 1 minute rollover, nice and far from the 200. Got a nice little area to fall. Yep, a lot of times this is where it falls. I was going to say that. We got this pushed through here, and then it got bought back up. So I kind of want to see this drop without really getting, bought back up too much. And let's look at the liquidation. Now, my style, the way I trade, I've been practicing it for about, 2.5 weeks or something like that. Looks like maybe they're going to come grab this liquidity. Hopefully that's enough to change our direction. It's an interesting way of trading. I think it's a little, I'm not trying to brag or something, but I think it's a little bit more advanced than what a lot of people do. Not more than the lifer. I'm not trying to say that at all. I know most of your lifers, the way he trades is on point. Kind of combined his style of trading with also some things I learned in the Master Leverage from Master Friend class that I took within his Discord about mitigation and stuff like that. I have myself in probably the worst position I possibly could get myself into right now. Dang. They got me for like $16 right now. Oh, they're charging me a bunch of funding fees. So I got to get out of this for like more than $16, or I just got to know that even if I close it like $1 profit, that I'm actually still losing money. Anyways, I could go over it a lot more another time. I feel like I've gone over it a bunch of times already. So let's go do our talking points tonight. This stream feels like it's running quickly. I must have really missed you guys. Well, I know I did, right? Said, what you mean crypto projects are supposed to have intrinsic value? What? LOL, JK. This is why I stay away from memes. Oh, yeah, of course. I think it will, and hope for your sake it double tops. Thanks for taking the time, brother. Always. Everybody who comes in here is important to me. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. And if we're not live, ask them in the Discord. Link to the Discord in the chat if you're not in there. So many people forget to think of use case. Yeah, because the hype just doesn't last, It's really easy to see a lot of people talking about it, and it's like, okay, you see a coin being, hype-ish and talked about for a couple of days. You're like, I don't really care. Then it's like 2 weeks later and everybody's still talking about it, and you're like, well, maybe I'll buy a little. So you buy a little bit, and then you buy a little bit more, and you buy a little bit more. And now it's been like a month and a half, and the craze is over. And now it's like somebody flicked the light switch overnight, and nobody's talking about it. The contracts they had with the influencers are up. They were going to pay them 2 months to talk about it or a month to talk about it. Now that's up, and nobody's talking about it. You realize that a lot of the hype wasn't genuine. And so from there, you sit on your bag, and then you realize there was never really not much community. There wasn't really much use case. There was really nothing to it, especially a meme. A meme's more obvious, but they do the same thing with quote-unquote more legitimate projects, right? Yeah, it looked like we just got the slightest little drawdown. Not too much here. Kind of want to check out what's the 15 minutes high. 1 hour is hopefully finally high. It looked like it was going to roll over a little prematurely, and then it didn't do it. I'm hoping the 1 hour is going to get rejected by the 200. If the 1 hour gets above that 200, that is problematic, and I might just have to take a loss there, which is okay. I'll get it back. No stress. I realized I was talking about Cyrene, and then I got distracted. Easy to do. It's my, blame it on my ADD. So let's go to X and see what kind of attention they're getting, because even though it's AI, it seems very meme culture-ish. Fully on-chain deployed AI analysis, BNB chain. I've just seen too many of these. What are they, again, when you see something like this, like what are they doing that's innovative? Like what are they doing that's special, that might catch on, that might make them, more important than all the other ones that are out there? AI agents, even open source is like not really special, or it's on-chain, same thing, open source, on-chain. You can see it, right? So 2.5 upgrade. Okay, so they're doing something. Let's go take a look at their website. They do have 78,000 followers. Pin posts from April 23rd has 123,000, but it's from 2025, right? So they've had the same pin post here. They could have put money behind it. I don't think it would tell you if they did or didn't. I think that they should put a little something up here that says like promoted or something like that. That would be important to me, because then you would know that it was genuine interaction, or if they just paid money, because you could pay money. You could get 1 million. And it makes a lot of sense, too, when I see a lot of projects. They're just like, 100,000 followers, and then like their pin post has like 1.3 million impressions. It's like, okay, yeah, somebody definitely put some money behind that thing. Let's go to their website. So many people forget to think about use case. Exactly. Touch, grab, press, or smack that like button will be truly appreciated. All right. Very random. Thank you for coming in here. Shabbat Shalom. God's chosen people. All right. Well, no, we don't have no hate in our heart over here on this channel, so you ain't got to worry about it. Siren, AI analysis agent. Hopefully they're not a bot, but highly likely to be a bot. Fully on chain. First AI. Wow, she popped up out of absolutely nowhere. First AI analysis agent deployed on BNB chain. Siren Sing. Yeah, okay. DApp. So they have a DApp. Let's go look at that. There's like the Web 2 version of their website. I like when they have a Web 3 version of their website, because it's kind of weird to be like Web 3 centric and then not have a Web 3, facing side of your website. And it's not loading. And I'm not going to give it a whole lot of time. Like, it needs to. All right, it's not loading. All right, so I'm going to move away from Siren. It's AI. It's on-chain. And then I'll touch on this because I swear I forget what the heck this project is every time. Ziliqua is a scalable and secure blockchain platform for hosting decentralized applications. No idea if I said it right. You kind of get whatever you get when I have to read these crazy names, because I've never heard anybody say it. Been as high as 3.2 billion. And right now it's 86.2 million. Lost a lot of its market cap. It's not new. Let's go to the weekly and see how far back this thing actually goes. See if we can get a read on it. The 18th of February 2019. And let's see. Recent price history is pretty much non-existent. I gotta say, I'm pretty much out on this thing. Scalable and secure blockchain platform. That's cool and all, but what do you do? And apparently nobody really wanted to hold it. Yeah, it's a layer 1 again. This is like the saturation of layer 1s. What does it do? What is it? Why do we care that it's a layer 1? It doesn't seem very specific to anything. Anyways, most of those other coins we've gone over, right? Let's check on this trade. Kind of seeming like it wants to put in a lower high. Maybe bearishly retest this 21. That would be nice. I might be daydreaming there. The 1 minute. Yeah, I am on the 1 minute. RSI is reset, but that 1 minute goes up and down so much. Yep, the 3 minute reset, 5 minutes still coming down. The 15 minute might get us somewhere, like maybe back to the 200 or at least the 21, you would think. But I've seen the 15 minute get pinned for hours to the top. So never think just because you see the RSI come to the very top and start kind of turning over like that, it's coming straight down, because they can play a lot of games. Excuse me. Yep, the 1 hour looking high. Just kind of doing my own math here before we move on. And let me go to TradingView, make sure I have some alerts set, so I'm not completely missing it. I'm going to set it at the top wick of that top candle from the last pump there. And hopefully I hear it when it goes off. All right, so let's talk about the topic of the day. I read you a short story about it, so hopefully that kind of sets the scene, sets the premise for what we're going to be talking about. The myth that crypto removed power, and that's what we all wanted. We wanted decentralization, no centralized owner. Well, did we get it? Let's find out. One of the most common ideas in crypto is that decentralization removes power. In reality, in contrary, decentralization removes formal ownership, not influence. Power doesn't disappear, it relocates. So control versus ownership, that's what I put on the thumbnail today. Ownership means holding tokens or equity. Control means shaping outcomes. In crypto, control often belongs to those who run infrastructure, coordinate usage, set defaults, manage the upgrades, influence the narratives. These roles don't always require a token at all. Like if you're a paid influencer for the coin, you're making money, you might not hold any of the coin. And they're probably paying you in USDT or USDC, a stable coin pegged to the dollar, and not even the actual coin, because a lot of influencers wouldn't take that, right? Infrastructure as power. So RPC providers, indexers, sequencers, bridgers, and wallets decide what users see, access, and trust. So infrastructure as power. Even decentralized protocols rely on centralized access points. Infrastructure becomes leverage. Governance isn't always where power lives. On-chain governance gives the appearance of control, but real influence often happens before votes occur. In proposal draftings, coordinations, and signaling, voting records outcomes. They don't always create them. Let me see what's going on in there. Look at Reliable J coming in here. What's up, Reliable J? Thank you for being here. All right, so social consensus as a control layer. Crypto runs on social agreements. Which chain is real? Which fork survives? Which standards matter? Social consensus determines legitimacy more than code alone. Think attention economy. That's where we live now. Who has the attention? What products have the attention? What cryptocurrencies have the attention? That kind of thing here. All right, just pumped up, made a higher high. Down 450. I've been here before 2 or 3 times already. If we could go ahead and roll over, that would be nice. Let's see. Yeah, that I wouldn't really count that as a head. I was thinking maybe we had the other high as like the first head, and then shoulder, head, and shoulder, but that I wouldn't use that. Maybe a double top here. You'd almost think it was cat ears if you got here. I'll draw. If you would have got like some kind of. But you got the opposite, in the middle was more like inverted. Maybe it's a giant cup and handle, and I can maybe get out on the handle. I could have got out of this coin, let's be fair. I was playing with fire, I knew it. So defaults shape behavior, right? Wallet defaults, UI decisions, and routing choices guide user behavior more than explicit rules. Control often exists in what users never change. Is this a little bit too advanced for people? How do you guys feel? Melissa says my fat fingers are the worst. Hey, it happens. It happens. So why this matters for the rest of this series. Understanding where power lives changes how you evaluate decentralization claims, governance models, ecosystem politics, and protocol risk. This is the lens for everything that follows. So it's Monday. We're really setting up the rest of the stream, and we're kind of really introducing what's going on now. Crypto didn't eliminate power. It made it less obvious. So they've smoke and mirrors, if you will, if you want to think of it that way. So I have the short story. I'm honestly tempted to read the short story again at some point. Maybe at the very end of the stream or something like that, if anybody's even still here at that point. So that kind of, we rolled through that fast in an hour. Usually it takes an hour and a half, 2 hours, even with my long-winded discussions. Not a whole lot of new coins trending, not a whole lot of new things on the radar. CoinGecko really did change what they were doing here, and I don't know if I like it. It's a little bit more straightforward. I'm just used to how it always is, and they changed it on me. So that is what it is. Maybe we'll bounce back and look at a couple of things that I didn't talk about. At this point, we're kind of moving into the underground crypto hangout part of the show. It's Monday. How's everybody doing? Is there anything you want to talk about? Don't be shy. Link to the Discord in the chat where we're hanging out when we're not live streaming. You can always hit at underground crypto and say something, and I'll see it. A little easier if you do that. I'll probably still see it, but that at least I'll know you were talking to me. And, if anybody needs anything but financial advice, if you just want to chat or something like that, I can do that. No financial advice, though. Trying to figure out where the heck this thing is going. Has River woken up? Why would it have woken up now, out of all times? I don't really feel like the market is all that hot. River's not that exciting of a coin. Yeah, it looks like there's good chance we're going up here to grab this liquidity. But then again, we were down here very close to liquidity, but this is a lot more liquidity. Maybe we go up, grab that liquidity, and then we can come down and start grabbing this liquidity they've been building here at about 13.4. Or who knows? Maybe this thing pumps for the next week and I flip around and trade it long instead of short like I've been doing. And there's still some liquidity up here, but you're talking about like 35K and stuff. It doesn't seem to really respond too much to that. Switch it to the 3-day. See what we got going on. Yeah, you have this little bit of liquidity. There is some liquidity up here that is substantial, but there's a big gap there. Big gap. Usually these big gaps really deter price action from moving through them. But I guess when they do move through them, they move through them quickly, right? Zill, baby. Banker coin still doing its thing. Yeah, I think it was down today, but I mean, what goes up must come down. BTC downtrending, so you have that going for you. I swear River always runs in the opposite. As soon as it stops downtrending and starts pumping is probably when this coin will go down, right? Almost kind of wonder. Let's see if you see it or not. Well, I didn't mean to do that. All right, I meant to move it over. Is you kind of have this big cup with a handle here. You could say that this was a big cup and handle. There we go. Now we're pumping and hitting my alert. So we just touched the liquidity at the top where we were, the last candle. Didn't really break it. It just kind of hit it, maybe inched it out. Yeah, it just inched it out a little bit. And then pulled down pretty hard. Sometimes it just goes up and just grabs the littlest bit of liquidity above from my master friend videos that I've watched and those kind of teachings. A lot of times it'll be the smallest little wick above a previous high before it turns around and runs the other way. Very strange thing. And look, it's kind of what it did. Let's see what we can get out of it. Maybe, a lot of times I feel like they do this quick little run up on a Monday, build a ton of people flipping long, hopping in. It's good probably to do this in the beginning of a market, right? Market just opens, people are frothy, they want to get into something, they go, look at River, it's pumping, it's parabolic, let's everybody hop into it. And then they run it up and then wash you. I've seen that many times. So I have hope that I might be able to get out of this trade for something decent. Still under $500 as far as being negative, but we did have that substantial liquidity up to 14.7, let's call it, and you'll probably get some follow through from there. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about River in my trade the entire time. I'm going to set my alerts a little bit higher here at that liquidity. What did I say it was? 14.7. Man, 14.7 is up there on a 3-minute chart. I'm going to set myself a little bit higher. That way I don't have to constantly hear the alert go off over and over. And if it does go off, I'll know that it rather crashed amazingly or it pumped quite a bit. One or the other. Because we did say, yeah, I mean, it's up there. Yeah, this is like, closest liquidity is more like 14.04. I could see it grabbing that. It's super close. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about something else. See viewership dropping off. So, chainers, link to chainers. I like it. It's kind of like a farm type game. Not like literally farming game, like farming like, you would do in crypto. You would farm some crypto. But they actually put actual plants and livestock in the farm. So it's a little bit of both. So you get your items, you go to all, you sell them. I don't want to sell it. You can sell it for CFB, which is in-game currency, Polmatic, or BNB. Usually I choose BNB. It's a very small amount. I don't want them to give away too much value too quickly, because if they do, it'll go to zero. Think about, would you have anything to do with this if they didn't give you incentive? So right here you can see the incentive that they gave you. Might be a smart move that they give you incentive, but they don't give you a crazy amount of incentive. Another thing I like about this game And again, on the referral link, I have no idea what I get for that. I don't think they really give me much of anything, to be honest with you. But you can kind of build yourself up. You start with one plot of land. Now I've got 4. I've upgraded one of them. And every time you kind of get more, you're able to actually increase your potential for earning. Here's the whole little city. There's not a whole lot to do. They have some mini games. This thing just basically gives you like a free item every day. This is actual more of a game. They have some coming soon. So it's a very new thing. We love some DeFi gaming. Just seemed really appropriate. There is a link in the Discord if you're into that kind of thing. Also, we got this Fogo fishing. I am still mining my unprocessed fish they start off with, and then you have to process them. Turn the auto casting back on. Up here, you can see I've got about 22,000 of them. I get a yield bonus for holding. Puts me at about 41,800. The last time I checked, there is a swap where you can swap these, right? So when I did that and I've looked at them, I think $10 at that time was about 63,000, I want to say. Is about $10. Now it's probably changed with the fluctuation of the market. That was before BTC decided to jump off a cliff. Speaking of jumping off a cliff, thank you, River. 360. I kind of explained my viewpoint here, that I think this is your false move Monday for Tokyo. I would love, of course, if this thing would quickly move down to the 200, as my break even is not far under that 200. But it could just be a quick liquidity grab for what we got going on here. I am going to play some Panzer Dogs in a minute if anybody wants to play. Reliable J, I know you started the journey of leveling up there. I think you only had to get to like level 5, and I already added you. So Reliable J, Camsta, Blues Dog, can only have 2. Who wants to play some Panzer Dogs? Camsta always goes to bed pretty early, so there'll be room for other people if Camsta wants to play first, because he might not be on here that long. Shout out to everybody being here on a Monday night. It says let's go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and invite you. Reliable J, do I have another? All right, Camsta. All right, Reliable J's in. Cool, everybody's readied up, and we're ready to go. I got my alert set, so I don't got to stress about my trade. I was glad to see River dump in there for a minute. Looks like it was getting bought up a little bit. And it's been up and down with that thing. I should have got out of it. I knew it. We had such close liquidity, though. A lot of times, almost every time, like 90% of the time, we get that little pullback. And I can't believe I woke up in the middle of the night and I was up. And then I didn't sell it. I wanted to see it go down. I guess you could say I got a little greedy. Wanted to see if it was going down quick too. So I was like, all right, cool. This thing's gonna go down a little bit more. And then I fell asleep, and that cost me all the gains. Cost me to not make the money I really wanted to make. But what can you do once it's over and you're not up no more? You can't sit around and cry about it. So I just been watching it. I could have got out for like $20 at one point. Wanted to do a little better than that. Another thing is when you've been holding something for like a day and a half, you're like, come on, at least pay me $50. And then of course, remember I got $16 worth of fees. So like I kind of need more than $20 to make it worth holding for 4 days. But sometimes you just got to be realistic and protect the purse, protect the money, and not be down $500, right? That probably would have been a better move. Oh. Oh, I got another one. Need some health, though. Melissa's got her popcorn ready. And we play this at the end of like almost every stream. Supposedly at some point there's supposed to be like some tournaments and stuff. So we got the dream team. I would love to run some tournaments. That would be a great stream there. Let's check it out. Yeah, we got a dump. Didn't immediately buy back up. I like that. Went up, touched the 21, came back down. I just need that 1 minute to reset without it, you know, jumping up too high. All right, who got top dog? I did. I got top dog. That's what's up. Getting top dog is like all about your internet connection, honestly. If your internet connection's not good, you'll lag so hard you can't kill nobody. Had that happen to me a lot of times. Let's open a chest, see what kind of NFT we got. This is play to own, not play to earn. Talking about like incentive. And this is a game that it's like if they don't pay you, really, they give you NFTs, but they're not necessarily paying you. And I would show up and play this even if they weren't paying me, just because it's, you know, multiplayer. I can play with friends. We can play it on the stream live. It's DeFi gaming. Like, I would show up for this thing regardless. That's a good move in my book. I don't think you can buy Panzer Dog as a coin. They have a different, like, there's like an actual startup project, whatever you want to call it, company that made this game or whatever. And I think they're gonna, if they haven't already, I think they're gonna make other games. And they have a token. So that's kind of how you would invest. If you just want to capture some value because you think the game is good, then I guess you just play and get your NFTs, connect a wallet. All right, that was terrible. I feel like I completely wasted that machine gun. Getting a little laggy. All right, 3-0. Let's see if we get a perfect game going. I don't know why. I feel like it's going to be a short stream tonight. And I say that, and then I'll be here like 2 hours later just watching this river trade do nothing. It's been like watching paint dry lately, but it's the weekend. I don't really expect much different. Again, totally wasted that machine gun. Oh well, I'd rather waste it than let them waste it. So interesting how like some games I'm just on it, like all shots hit the target, and then some games like I can't hit nobody. It is lagging. All right, healthed up. Got him. 9-0. We got a perfect game going here. We got the dream team. Oh, that's game. Who will get the trophy tonight? That's a good question. Right, I'm about to do my own tournament where we just play and then we keep track of who got top dog the most, and then I'll give something away. That would be cool. Unless it's me. If I'm the one who wins top dog the whole time, I'll just give it to somebody else. We'll do a raffle at that point. That would be fun. Okay, dropped under the 21. We're holding it. Kind of accumulating here. Accumulation pattern. Very range bound. Kind of this other bottom as support. Come on, go right through it. Go. All right, not going to sit and watch it. All right, everybody's readied up. I don't have enough to open a box, so let's spin another round. And also, I just like that this game is interactive with the community and like we could actually play together. I think that's a lot of fun. I haven't seen a lot of other games that are like that. There was like another shooter game, DeFi shooter game that came out, but it must not have been very popular. It was just too new, because when we opened it and tried to launch it, it worked. It's just it could never find a match, right? It could never find a full group of people to make a match with. The way these guys are moving makes me feel like you're playing real players and not bots. Let's go. I really hope that we bottomed out for BTC, Could talk freely here in the underground hangout part of the show. I mean, I talk freely all the time, so I don't know what I was getting at there. But anyways, you know my point is that I really hope that we've bottomed out, and you know the bear market can finally start. It's gonna be really interesting if we went through a bull market into a bear market, had like a full year of bear market, and a lot of people probably didn't even realize we were in the bear market until we were practically done with it. It would almost be nice if it happened that way. But traditionally, we don't get the explosiveness of a bull market until the last year of the 4-year cycle. I'm not putting a lot of stock in the 4-year cycle. I don't feel bad for you know, kind of using the 4-year cycle as a guide at all, because we have to work with the data that we have, right? And when the data is broken, you know, a lot of people said it. A lot of my mentors and stuff said, you know, when the 4-year cycle breaks and it's not a 4-year cycle anymore, I won't use it anymore. As long as it still works, I'm going to use it. So that's kind of where we're at. Nice, we broke that support. We're going. We're only down 325. Let's get some follow through. Dump right through that 200 would be amazing. Let's go get the 3-minute. What do you bet we're at? Like, oh, a 3-minute 200 is even farther away. Nice. All right, everybody's readied up. Rhythm is a dancer. You mean the rhythm of the market? I think people right now at the rhythm of the market are dancing like they're held hostage in a nightclub and they've been there for 24 hours. Wasn't it Blues Guy who said he was in like a 24-hour dance triathlon something? That was crazy. I don't want to dance for 5 minutes. I think dancing is strange. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I know that that's like a very niche to me perspective. I know a lot of people don't feel that way. But with a lifetime of martial arts, just moving for no reason seems really silly. When you've practiced, every movement has a purpose, and you don't really unnecessarily move. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to waste energy and burn cardio in a fight. You never know how long you're going to be fighting for. And it, you know, in real life, fighting is usually life or death, not usually something you do for fun. It's not in an octagon against an opponent. So I don't know, for whatever reason, a lifetime of doing that has made me feel like dancing is very pointless. But hey, some people love it, and I don't knock it if you like it. How I got on to dancing, I don't know. So I remember Blues Guy did like a 24-hour dance thing. It was probably a long time ago. I think he said it was like disco, so it must have been a long time ago. Ain't nobody doing disco dances right now. I mean, is rave like the new disco, and EDM like the new disco music? Is it like the revival of an old trend there? It'd be interesting if this one, when you say 1 M, do you mean 1 month or 1 minute? Descending triangle dumps to the bottom of the larger ascending triangle pattern. Ballsy long opportunity, if so, probably happened around 68,650, 11 p.m. ish. Nice. Plague Dogs is on it. I've not been trading It's so funny. I only traded BTC for the longest time. Didn't trade anything else. Then I got on River and stuff, and I've been making more money, you know, money quicker. Maybe not more money, but money faster than anywhere else. It could be because of the way the market was and stuff like that, and the fact that River is kind of just does whatever the heck it wants to, and BTC will be dumping like the world is ending, and like River's like over here just like slightly pumping and trending up. It's hilarious, but it made it kind of nice to trade because you'd get like some pumps and stuff even when BTC was doing terrible. Yeah, the house scene of EDM is today's disco. 1 minute. Okay, I thought you meant 1 minute. Usually when people mean 1 month, they use like one capital M. Let me see you do that slit, son. I don't even know what a slit is. A split? Maybe she meant a split. Is that something they did in disco? I guess it was. Yeah, I guess that was something. I was I was not involved in any way, shape, or form in the disco era. I was raised in the gangster rap era. They got the liquidity stacked on both sides here. It's not completely equal though, so maybe it's a little more genuine. Usually it feels like closest liquidity, but think about it. We pumped all the way up to this and it didn't go for that close liquidity. It was like it was done just eating the tiniest bit of liquidity. Now, can we go to the bottom already? That's what I'm saying. And that I love when that 1 minute starts rolling over on the 21. It's not a guarantee, but it's pretty possible. Like, look at this one for the 3 minute. Now we're on the 3 minute here. And yes, I'm going back to Panzer Dogs in a minute. Rolled over there, nice follow through. Roll over here, nice follow through. Got like a perfect double top as long as we don't go make another higher high. I mean, you made the slightest higher high on a wick, but not on a candle close, right? And that's all they needed to grab liquidity. We're gonna hope that this thing continues on. All right, let's play some more Panzer Dogs. And we're rolling into 10 o'clock, so we've been live for an hour and a half. Let me ask you this. Are you using the same leverage on River as you did for BTC? No, I'm using less leverage on. I use 20x leverage for River, and I always used like 40 to 50 on BTC. But I'm gonna be honest, like, the reason I shifted up a lot of my trading style, it wasn't even so much to do with like BTC versus River or another coin. I traded up my style because I'm in and out a lot faster. Usually, the trade that I'm in here is actually a bit of a rarity for me so far in practicing this style of trading. But also because it gets better like moves. I would do a lot of pattern trading and stuff, and it would take forever to see if the pattern would play out. And honestly, there was a lot of times patterns didn't play out in my favor or something, you know? There's a whole host of other mistakes that I would make. In all honesty, what I'd a lot of times do with like, the lifer style of trading, and it's 100% on me, is like, I would take a big trade on the day, like a big trade, I mean like a pattern on the 15-minute like flag, right? You guys, I know, are familiar with that kind of thinking. And it would play out, and I'd take profits. And then I had to like be in a trade, right? Like I couldn't just trade that, walk away and be happy. I would have to go get in the 5 minute, and I'd find a little trade in the 5 minute, and it would be like a flag or something. And maybe it played out, maybe it didn't. A lot of times it did. And I'd make a little bit, right? And then I'd be in the 1 minute looking for patterns on the 1 minute, right? And then just absolutely wrecking my bag and losing all the money that I had made that day. Just got obsessive, like I had to be in a trade constantly. And I'm gonna be honest, I've curved that a little bit, but this style of trading kind of allows me to do that a little bit more because I'm not holding the trades for very long, and I'm mitigating. The big power to the way I'm trading, and I'm not saying the way I'm trading is like the most amazing thing since sliced bread, I'm not saying that, but it works for me, and I can mitigate. So I can get in, and if the trade goes a little against me, I start with very little money in the trade, and then I mitigate constantly. Now, when you mess it up is when you've mitigated all of your money, like I have now. Kind of. I still have $444 over here. Oh, looks like Jimmy's hopping out. Says, gotta run, brother. See you tomorrow. Good luck with River. I think it is going to go in your favor. Peace. Thanks for saying that, man. Thanks for being here. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. New York time. Yep, that's the greed keeping us in the trade, that or scarcity mindset. I know this well, my friend. It's our neurodivergence. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, in these last 2 weeks, I feel like I've been really good about not being greedy. Starting with a little bit of money, taking my $20, $50 over and over again, and it's really worked out really well for me. You know, right now I'm probably up like $2,200 in the last, 2.5 weeks. So it's working. As long as I can get out of this trade with minimal, just not a big loss, I'll still be doing great. And even if I took $1,000 loss here, I'd still probably be up like $1,200. It would suck, but hopefully I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, my point is I think I've been pretty good about being not overly greedy, but I definitely woke up in the middle of the night and I should have sold that trade that I think I wasn't very well thought through. I think I was a little greedy there for sure. And I think it hurt me because I wouldn't have had to been in this trade all day. I would have been making money probably during the day trading, and I wouldn't be so overextended and over leveraged here. And you know, down here, I thought it was pretty calculated actually, waiting for it to come down to liquidity, and it just didn't happen. It's hard to know sometimes if you're being greedy or if like you saw a probability and it didn't play out, because not all probabilities play out, and you'll kind of go back and forth thinking like, you know, maybe I'm being greedy. No, I see a probability, all of that stuff. Reliable J says it kicked him. I can always re-invite, no worries. Yep. All right, let me re-invite here. Maybe I was talking too long, for sure. Let's open another chest, see what we get. I need to burn that last one was a duplicate. Oh, I got another green one? Man, I've been having really good luck. Okay, rare ingot. I need those higher ingots for sure. Let's go to inventory. And that paint job I got, I'm pretty sure it was a duplicate. I finally got an epic NFT. That was cool. Okay, this is a double. We'll burn that. I don't need two of them. So I got 3 green ingots. Is this the one that I got? No, it was a blue one. Ah, this is what it was, right? All right, I got 2 of those. Let's burn that. And you get the ingots, and then you can go to like the store, and then you can buy stuff with the ingots. Like if you go to shop, you'll see there's things for sale for the ingots. Oh, Camps is out of here, so I won't invite him. Later, Cam. Hope you enjoyed your crypto bedtime story. I might read it again, honestly, just because it's Monday, and I want to continue to set the stage for that. What's River doing to me? Dumping. Love that. Love that you can make money in either direction. And if I could really nail down this trading style, then I'll even care even less if we're in a bear market or a bull market. Although I will say one thing about River, at least on weeks, is that when I have too high of a position, I can't flash close it. And that's kind of annoying. I literally have to go close 50% of the position, and then I can hit flash close. It's like they really don't support like when you have too much, which is just weird to me as an exchange. It's like so, and it's probably a liquidity issue, I would imagine. You know, if I had $1 million and I wanted to hop in on leverage, they'd just be like, sorry, you need to go somewhere else. You can't do that here. Which is interesting because one of the things the lifer said to me, I was explaining what I was doing with my style. At first I told him I was combined kind of his style with Master Friend. He thought I was doing like, you know, ICP or whatever. Right? Isn't that what it's called? I don't know why it's not coming to my brain. What do you call that? The style of trading that Master Friend does. Anybody familiar? I think it is ICP. Anyways, and so I was showing him, and it's funny because one of the things he said to me was like, oh, that's cool, it makes sense, I get it, but like he can't do that because of liquidity issues and money. That's why he trades mostly BTC. It made a lot of sense to me. I'm not at that point. I don't have a $60,000, you know, portfolio. Maybe one day I'll get there, and then I'll only trade BTC at that point. Let me get that missile. Ah, the round's over. ICT, that's what it is. And I usually know what it stands for, too. It's just not coming to me. I literally, when I was talking to him about it, I literally said exactly what it was and everything. So I know it, but I can't think of it at all right this second. Oh, well. And you bounced up to the 21. Come on. Hopefully we keep getting rejected there. Yep, back up to 370 because of that bounce. How's that liquidation levels looking? High liquidity on... Oh, we hit one of the liquidity. Barely. I mean, you took out 128K. But you left 178K and also 70K. I think you grabbed that stack even if you were going to go higher. Looking very rounded. Looks like you could trend down. I'm liking that a lot. All right, let's keep it going. Incorrect trading. You're hilarious. I know that's not what it is. I take it Plague Dogs is not a big fan. That's hilarious though. That was a good one. Where's Blues Guy at? I haven't heard much from Blues Guy. Haven't seen him comment in a while either. At least he stopped by and said hello, right? I swear. Okay, I did see him at one point. Nice. Definitely, I know my people at this point. Like, I know who I'm looking for. Nobody owes me nothing, but I do miss it when people are not here. Conversations are not the same when certain people are not around. Oh, Reliable J got disconnected. That happens. I don't know what server they're using. I also do run... I wonder what server Reliable J is using. I use the Asian servers. So maybe that has something to do with it. But even when Camsta and Blues Guy play, it's very, I don't know, Canadian internet or something is terrible. That's what I get out of it. It's too cold. The internet doesn't want to work. Come on, let me get that kill. Got him. Go. Do we still have music? Is there still music playing? Again, as always, I can't hear it, so when it turns off, I don't know. Got him. Get some good hits out here right now. And that's a wrap. Tabbing back and forth boots me. Yeah, it does to me sometimes too. No, I'm a fan. That's where the money printer 7. Yep, comes into play. I just can't avoid a good joke when I feel one. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. I be like that a lot too. All right. I was looking for the rejection at the 21. But lower high. Let's see. Are we going to get a lower high here? 1 minute. Let's go to 3 minute. With some pretty solid support right there. It kind of bounced off of for the 3 minute. And of course, it never comes straight down. It's kind of up, down, up, down. You need those lower highs to really make a good downtrend. 15 just starting to dump. And then kind of got bought back up there on the whole 15. Almost looking like it didn't want to go down to the 21. That I don't like. 1 hour hasn't even turned over yet. The 5 minute looking like it bounced off the 21 pretty good, and it's still pumping. What are you doing to me? That's definitely the previous top right there. Roll on over and go down is what I say. All right, I think I'm Panzer Dogged out here. BTC dropping pretty hard. Hopefully River will follow. Hey, look, Camsta's back. What's up, Camsta? Yeah, let's go take a look at BTC real quick. Take a little break from that. That was the River. All right. I mean, yeah, it's rolling over on the 5 minute. It does look like a shoulder, head and shoulder. At first I was counting this as a shoulder, but I don't really see that now. I see this. And that would have a pretty good measured move. Let's check it out. Not as big as the measured move that I had for sure. And it's probably pretty on point with the 786 here. Let's squash this down a little bit. Full range there. Look at that. Perfect. That'd be a perfect hit off the 786 for the measured move. And hopefully if it does that, River actually dumps. Again, River a lot of times likes to pump when that happens. It's kind of annoying. 5 minute losing the 200, that's pretty significant. 15 minute already under the 200. The 1 minute getting some separation from the 200. All right, and that's BTC. Hop over to River. Looks like 3 minute, hopefully bearish retest of the 21. Stokes are down though, and you got some, bullish divergence. It looks like I see it kind of. I don't know if I trust this like stochastic divergence that they have on here. It's like stochastic with divergence. I don't know if I really trust them. They be pulling from some odd points sometimes. Maybe it's just more advanced than what the heck I know about. Could be. And it's really kind of looking like River got the bounce off of the 200. I mean, close enough, right? But also I could see it coming back down to the 5. 5 basically coming down to the 21 and bouncing. Stochastic reset. You do kind of have bearish divergence on the 5, but I'm pretty sure that's what this was. Kind of already played out there. No bullish divergence. All right. And I'm just going to continue to watch this. It's at the bottom of the small descending triangle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're talking about BTC right there. And this is pretty much the Monday show here. We set up for the week. When crypto first emerged, it promised something radical: systems without owners, no CEO, no shareholder, no central authority. In many ways, it delivered. But power didn't vanish. It stopped wearing a name tag. And that's kind of where we're headed. If you want to see what's going on, you're going to have to come back to the next show. Hopefully you raise your crypto IQ, or we at least laid the foundation to do even more crypto IQ raising in the future here. Tomorrow, not that far into the future, just tomorrow. 1 minute reset. Didn't really get a higher high, especially if you count these wicks over here. I just want to see it fall through that 21 and continue on. That would be amazing. Break this bottom wick down here of this candle, get to the 200. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna hop off. I hope everybody had a good night. We've been live for an hour and 43 minutes. I think that's a great Monday stream. And if anybody needs me, I'm in the Discord, or I'm available if you at me in the Discord. I might be in the Discord. I might be running around doing a bunch of other things at the house. The Super Bowl kind of messed me up. I got a lot of stuff I need to do. Trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to say before I hopped off. I think that's it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. Have a good night, everybody. Yep. Good to see you, Reliable J, Greenfingers, Campsta, Melissa, Blues Guy. My IQ has risen. That's what I like to hear. Good night, everyone. Stay underground. Stay crypto. Crypto Ron out.